Welcome to Daddy Issues.
Good morning, Lily Bonkwater.
Good morning, Shade. How are you?
I love, I'm great. You know, I love your name because it's like so soothing and it really sets the mood for our show. It's perfect.
I am pleased.
Did you have a good weekend?
I had God, I don't remember. What did I do with the weekend?
I kind of don't remember. Maybe probably a great weekend then.
I don't think I did anything this weekend. I think I just sort of like chilled out and then, smoked weed and played.
And that was it.
4.
That was your whole weekend. You're like,
yeah.
That does
Fallout
it for me.
Yeah, Fallout 4 and weed.
Nice. I'm like super domestic lately, and so I've been redoing my garden. Or actually, there wasn't a garden before; it was just like dirt and grass, and so now it's a beautiful garden, and I'm super proud of it. But like, this is, yeah, it's like the frilliest thing I've ever done in my life. I have to be honest. Like, this is, but I see why people do it because it is very relaxing, and you can sit out there and smoke a bowl, and it'll be the most glorious experience ever because you got like the soothing water sounds and the fucking wildlife and all that shit.
Oh, yeah. You gotta have some fucking wildlife, man.
Don't I sound like a camper? Like
no, it's nice though. Like, I have big plans for my garden, but I've done nothing yet.
Do you have a big garden area? See, I didn't have a lot of area to work with.
I don't. I have a tiny garden area. Most people in the UK don't get a whole lot of garden space. So I have this little square, but I have big plans for that little square.
You're like, that square I've got dreams for that square. So everybody hold on a second before they count out the square.
How was your
I had I'm glad you asked because I was just about to say. My weekend was a mix of several weird disasters. So,
do tell.
Okay, so the first of all, you ever have a day with your husband where you're just like, oh, if you were a Pokemon, I wouldn't choose you today. Like, So there was that element of everything, and then my son, who's not even 2, is in the full throes of trying to act like he is having a 2-year-old meltdown whenever he feels like it. So that's been that's been part of our new weekend dynamic. And then it was like wicked cold, so my bones hurt. I sound like an old rickety woman, but like I've had so many injuries that I really do. I mean, it's awful during the winter. Well, I thought, okay, well, I live in a tropical climate. I'll be fine. I won't be fucking cold. It was cold, and it is cold, and my bones are still like, die! So
I feel your pain on that one, seriously.
Well, and it was my husband's birthday last week. So this weekend, we had like a fancy dinner plan. So we're both really excited, because we don't go like out very often. Maybe like out to pick up cigarettes, but out to go pick up milk or groceries or like his scotch, but we never go just to go out,
Yeah.
So we go out, and this is the story I was going to tell you the other day. So, turns out, I'm going to start by saying, I've never been to this place before, and I didn't know what to expect. I heard the food was amazing. I looked at the website, it was super fancy. I'm like, wow, this is like gonna be really nice.
Right.
So, and we had a gift certificate that was given to us to put towards it. Well, to quote my husband, we're poor balls. So, like going to a fancy restaurant and dinner is not something that we do anymore because my company is down, like I closed my company, and so we don't have that kind of income anymore.
Yeah.
So this was a huge deal for us. We get there, the valet was amazing. And the fact that the valet is who stands out to me should really give you some social context clues. because like, he was the nicest guy. Like, he really believed in doing the work. He was an old guy, too. He ran like the wind. I swear he must have done, like, a recent round of testosterone treatment, you know, because he was like Speedy Gonzalez. And then, so then we go inside, we get seated. They give us the option of 2 tables. The first one is like literally sharing a wall with the bathroom. And I'm like, no. And it's right next to the kitchen. It's like the shittiest seats in the house. I was like,
why do they even
no.
put tables there? Like, just because you have a space there doesn't mean you gotta put a table there. Nobody wants to sit next to the fucking bathroom.
For lesbians. They do it because of lesbians, because they don't want the lesbians to be seen by the others, the other heteros. So, like, I'm serious. When me and my girlfriend were together, this was like a running joke between us and all of our lesbian friends. Like, some were gold stars, but most of us just, you know, we just had our girlfriends. And anyway, so, but it's a thing. Like, you go together, and if they have any idea that you're together, they'll put you, like, way in the back. Or
that's fucking hilarious.
Near the bathroom. Like, you're the fucking tainted lesbians of the meal.
It's like they're asking you to cause a scene.
It really is. It's like, okay, first of all, gay guys are for sure going to be the ones to make you really uncomfortable at a dinner, because if you put them in the back of the restaurant, they're going to raise hell. Like, they're definitely not going to be there for very long. They're either going to walk out or they're going to make such a scene. The entire restaurant knows they're there anyway, so you defeated the purpose.
Should. Everyone should. If you're listening right now and somebody tries to put you at that shitty table, I don't care where you come from in your life.
Don't
start
take
shit.
Don't take the shitty seat. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You're too good
because
for
you're
that.
paying. Yeah, you're paying what everybody else is fucking paying. Well, maybe not what everybody else is paying. Okay, so this is there are layers to this story. So my husband used to work in fine dining many moons ago, and so there was like this dynamic where, okay, so we sat down at not the toilet table, as my husband called it later. So we sat down, like, in the dining room. There's a bunch of old people. We are the only people in that entire building probably under the age of fucking 50. So,
oh god.
Yes. Like, it was one of those places where, you know how you can, like, check menus online? I'm assuming you can do this in the UK. It's like a thing, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah. You gotta
guys are like an advanced culture. So, okay. So all that being said, so we're sitting there and we're going over the menu, and we had already looked at the menu online and there are no prices. Well, we look at the menu in person and there aren't prices really either. Like, weirdly, on some places in the menu there are prices, but for the most part there are not prices. And there's a moment of panic in my mind where I'm like, what is this gonna fucking cost me? And am I gonna have to hand over my unborn children? Like, so we're sitting there, and you know how, like, somebody always comes over and they, like, bring you your water and they greet you, and, like, there's this whole, like, rapport building exercise. I know this because I was a server and I was a bartender. So, like, this is the fucking game, guys. If you don't fucking do this, nobody should tip you. I'm just telling everybody in advance. So nobody comes by. To this day, I still don't know what our server's name was, because he never introduced himself. He never thanked us. Oh my god. It gets so much worse. So then I was like, okay, maybe it's just because we're younger and they can see, like, the other tables obviously have substantially more money than us. We're talking, like, millions. We're not talking about they have good jobs. No, they're retired, living on fucking yachts on the weekends and, like, their oceanfront condos during the week. They're those people. So we're sitting there, and the servers, including ours, are, like, doting on everybody in the room except our table. Like, my husband almost had to harpoon somebody with a fork just to get, like, a drink order in, or, you know. And then there was a moment where, okay, we finally got our drinks, but we've been there now like 30 minutes.
Oh my god.
We had to, yes, and we had to order. We had no water. Everybody else had bread and cheese and, like, butter and whatever the hell, like, oil and these, like, infused olives, you know, very pretentious food. So,
Why is pretentious
if you,
food always so fucking nasty?
oh god, it tasted like somebody took basil and they just like put it all over my olive. I was like, an olive brings a lot to the table on its own, people. You really don't have to fuck the olive up. It does all it needs to be doing in olive land all on its own. So this goes on for a while, and mind you, we're celebrating my husband's birthday a little bit late. This is a big deal for us. I'm trying not to really draw attention to the fact that we are literally getting shafted. And we finally get our drinks, but the bartender brings them to us, which I don't have a problem with, but it was just odd because it's like we did have a server, theoretically. Like, there was a guy whose job it was to drop off things like that. But anyway, so we get our drinks. He doesn't ask us if oh, that was the other thing. So my husband is a Scotch fan. And like whiskey, he loves whiskey. So, there was a moment where he's like, "Do you have a Scotch menu?" And they were like, "Full bar." First of all, if you're talking to a Scotch fanatic, that's a really, really broad term you just threw out there. That should mean that if he talks about something that's like fucking 500 years old, you have it because you have a full bar. So watch your tongue.
Seriously. That just says you don't know fuck all about alcohol when you say shit like that.
Right. Because I guarantee you, just thinking at like a bartender, there's at least three different types of either liquor, wine, or Scotch specifically that I can think of that are pretty much like they don't carry them anywhere. So he could have pulled one of those out of his ass. And he was like, "I should have done that." And I said, "No, because here's what would have happened. They would have said that they had it. They would not have had it. And you would have been overcharged for something that they didn't have, that they covered up with something else that they did have." And I was like, and now you're paying, what, $150 for a glass of alcohol? So anyway, but none of that happened. So we each get a glass of wine because full bar is too broad of a term for my husband to handle when he's looking for specific shit. So now, not to sound like pretentious assholes, but the entire time people are ignoring us. And for a while, like I said, I thought it was just because, like we were younger and they probably were like, well, these are bigger tables, they're gonna tip us more, yada yada yada. And then a young couple came in and sat down. And they had half of their meal before we even had our wine.
What the fuck?
And
what the fuck? How are you not freaked out at this point?
It gets worse. So there's a moment, and I've never gone through this before, where we have our alcohol. Okay, they drop off remember, the bartender drops off our wine. And we're sitting there, and there's a moment at which we've been ignored so much because now it's been about an hour and nobody's come with water, nobody's brought us bread. We can't seem to fucking hamstring a bitch over here to like get them to like ask. They haven't asked shit about us. They haven't asked if there's any questions we have about the menu. Then they give us the wine. 2 seconds later, he asks us if we want to order from the menu that we literally got as they handed us the wine. They gave us our menus. Everybody else, they gave them their menus when they sat down. So, couple to the right, who my beloved and adoring husband goes, he's like the bougie fucking bad lip couple. So, the husband had like chapstick he kept using, and he was like wearing one of those fucking frat guy polo shirts.
Oh,
he was wearing one of those, and so my husband was already judging him. But then his girlfriend had her hair curled and had like the darkest lipstick I've ever seen on a blonde, and it looked like it really just made her lips look like they were rotting off her face, if I'm being honest. And that's not me being a bitch. That's just me being descriptive. They looked like they were falling off of her fucking face.
Bad surgery.
Yeah, and then, okay, I got the cheapest thing on the menu. The cheapest thing on the menu was $48, and it was 6 little pieces of ravioli. Something I could have made at home myself for like, $8. including like everything I need. Like, well, $48 fucking later, I have 6 ravioli. And
oh, God.
I would never tell my husband this, but it was actually cold. To this moment, he does not know that. He would have been
Holy
livid.
shit.
Yeah. So mind you, this is like a 5-star restaurant, and I'm not saying like this is the service I would expect at Chili's. Like,
you get better service at Chili's.
I was
It's
really
like,
appalled.
okay, next year for your birthday, we'll just go to TGI Fridays. Fuck this shit.
Right? It's like, oh my God, you have to be fucking kidding me right now. Like, this is not. It's really. So, at the end, there was a moment where we had our drinks, and it was as soon as the guy asked us to order when we got our wine. He like handed us the wine glasses, and then somebody else handed us the menus, and we were like supposed to know what we were ordering. Well, our food gets there, and now we're locked in. Like, there's no way we could get the fuck out of there now. And neither of us are particularly thrilled about it, I'm gonna be honest. Like, we both wanted to get the fuck out of there, but we've eaten. And you know how they come once you get your food, and they're like, so how is everything? Nope.
Yeah.
Never fucking came by.
Oh
and then,
my God.
about 45 minutes after we ate and no one came by, we are still waiting for the check. Still waiting for the check. Haven't had a single thing on the table. Not water, not wine, no food. Can you still hear me? This is good.
I
this.
can, yeah.
I feel like we're really getting somewhere. Yeah, so we have our wine drinks, and you know, we're assuming that everything from now on is going to be a lot smoother. You know, people know we exist now, but in reality, that's not what happened. We were seriously considering leaving, and we didn't leave. And when we didn't leave, and they handed us a wine, they immediately wanted to take our order, but we had just gotten the menus that everybody else had since they sat down. And then the waiter acted all frustrated with us that we didn't know what we wanted from menus we had literally just blinked our eyes at. And then we finally get the food, and I will say the food was really delicious, but it wasn't okay. For me, I had ravioli, which I could have had at home for a lot cheaper, $8 in and out the door. We would have been fine. And what really ended up happening is I was spending $48 on 6 ravioli, and to me, that will always stick with me. That's an obscene amount of money to be, by the way.
That's ridiculous, though.
Yeah, 6. And then we wanted to like leave again since, you know, we'd finished the meal. We weren't getting any more alcohol. We couldn't afford a fucking dessert because they were like $30.
Well, it's fun getting dessert from them anyway. They probably like spit in it or something.
Yeah, well, so what really made it worse was that at first I was like, oh, you know, it's like this with everybody. No, it wasn't. Then I was like, well, it's just going on with us because we're kids. Compared to everybody else who's like ancient and has dust coming out of their ears and out of their pussies, and you know,
cobweb
it's like,
vagina.
Seriously, like cobwebs. But in reality, it was just, I think they just didn't give a fuck about us. Like the valet when we were leaving, this made it super awkward. So we finally get our check an hour or so after we wanted the check. No food, no water, no alcohol, we're not doing shit, and we're still fucking stuck there like fucking food prisoners.
Oh man, you
Like,
guys should have
food-
done and dashed that shit. Just run out.
I seriously, you know what? Colin and I both considered it. We both fucking considered it. And, but we didn't. And as we're leaving, the woman who originally seated us was like, how was the meal? And there was like this awkward moment where my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, and we just walked out. That's exactly what we did. We just, and like, it was more like a sound than a response.
Your food sucked and you should feel bad.
So yeah, and then long story short, you know, not to give you too many spoilers, but the testosterone-filled old guy like runs outside because he sees that we're going to go collect our car, or we'd like to anyway. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I was inside warming up with a cup of coffee. Joe. And I'm cracking up because his accent is so thick. He's like fresh off of the Italian boat, right? And he's so nice. He's like an old man teddy bear with like no hair. It's freezing outside for Floridians anyway. It's cold for us. And he comes over and he opens, oh, madam, I opened the door for you. You just relax, eh? And then, he goes, so how was your dinner? And then we went, hey. And he's like, oh, that doesn't sound good. And we're like, thank you so much. We'll see you later. Like, as if we're like a fucking rock star show. Okay, good night. Like, thank you.
Go.
Yeah, seriously, it was so awkward. I was like, I turned to my husband as we were driving away. I was like, it's sad that, first of all, I want to adopt that old man. I feel like he was like a really sad puppy that could have been adopted, who seemed to love his job, even though he was freezing his old nuts off. And then I was like, but it's sad that we had a server whose name we don't know, but we know that's Mario, of all things. His name was fucking Mario.
Seriously.
And yeah, his name, man, Mario.
You know, you found.
I mean, he didn't make that as a joke, but that's what was going on in my brain when he introduced that.
Like, I have a dream now. I have a dream now. I want you to run into this guy at another time, and he talks with a normal, sort of like New Yorker accent, and his real name's like Leonard or something like that, and he's like, oh, I just do that shit while I'm at work because it's fucking soul crushing doing this job, so you gotta put some fun into it.
Yeah, well, and then in the back of my mind, if I saw him, I'd be like, it's me, Mario. So I just had a stellar fucking weekend, and I'm about to be out of my medical, and nobody needs that in their life.
Fuck that noise.
Nobody needs to see how that
goes.
No,
you could have gone down. You guys could have gotten a bottle of booze, walked down to Little Cuba, gotten a kick-ass bunch of food from a food stall on the street. That would have been a better experience.
Yep. I'm telling you. When we had our wine and we felt like we were trapped, like,
trapped like rats.
I don't even know what. Like, yeah, we really were.
If my husband,
because it was gonna be.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no! If your husband.
I was gonna say, if my husband and I ever come and visit you in the States, I want you to take us to that restaurant. Because we will reenact.
Oh my God.
We will reenact the dinner scene from Blues Brothers in that restaurant.
Jesus.
We give no fucks. Like, we will fart really loudly. We'll like try to buy people's.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, we definitely stiffed our waiter too when it came to the tip. But it was like he didn't ask if our food was okay. He didn't bring us water. Like,
right?
No. I really sound like white priprivileged right now, but no, seriously,
true.
Like, you have one fucking job.
Yeah, it's true though. Like, I've got it's not really like sounding white privileged. It's sounding like what sort of like people of color experience when they go to a different restaurant.
Dude, I felt exactly like that. It was like, it's like I don't even exist.
Pay attention to me!
And the worst part was, it's like no convincing my husband it wasn't going on either. Because my husband used to, like I said, work in fine dining. So he knows when somebody's fucking ignoring him. Because he's done it. He's like, he even admitted, he was like, I gotta be honest, I'd probably be doing what these guys are doing. Because it seems like they're just focusing on, the people who are they're probably gonna have like a $2,000 bill.
Yeah, but
it's like $2,000. That sounds like rent to me.
I could never justify to myself, even like if I won the lottery tomorrow and I was worth millions, I could never justify to myself paying that much for a meal. It's food. Right? This is the shit that keeps me from dying in between doing the fun stuff.
Oh. I didn't even tell you. So, caprese salad.
No.
You ever had one? It's tomatoes, some basil, and some mozzarella. It's delicious. There's like balsamic on it. It's delicious. You should definitely try it. I don't know if you can get Italian there.
In theory. I'm sure
there. Oh my God! You have to make your own fucking Italian.
There is. a fabled Italian restaurant that's really nice here, but I have yet to find it. I have no fucking idea where it...
You're like, I really think it's just a myth like Delaware.
It's like Delaware and Finland. It's all a conspiracy. It's just bullshit.
Wow. Okay. So I didn't know it's gonna be that difficult for you to get your hands on some Italian. To me, that's a deal breaker. I wouldn't live with a country that didn't give me Italian.
It's not the country, it's the towns. You know, I live in, I mean, they say they're a city, right? Because in England, they're not a fucking city at all, no. In England, right?
You're like, we're not even a province.
In England, your town classifies as a city if it has a cathedral. And we have one of the most amazing cathedrals in the country here. But the town surrounding the cathedral is a small town.
Oh.
Everyone knows everyone slept with everyone. It's fucking ridiculous.
Wow. And so, do you have any lifers? This is really interesting to me. I've been so nomadic comparatively. So, are there people that have been there their whole lives and have never lived anywhere else?
They're just as weird as they're okay.
God,
they are like anybody that's only ever lived in one place is weird to me. It's just like, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
They are.
My husband's only ever lived, well, like, he's lived in other cities within Texas, but he's only ever lived in Texas. I was like, what? Texas is like
Austin.
a big...
That's the only thing Texas is good for.
You have to get... Well, see, and he doesn't... he's like so sheltered. Anyway,
no, they're not like the lifers in the States that are like, really... I mean, you do get your racist, like, typed ones here, but not like over there, like, at all.
Right, I mean, you did go on a date with a Nazi, if I remember correctly. Like, you're really open-minded.
Hey, I didn't know he was a Nazi.
Well, how did you find out then?
I went in it whenever I went into his house. It was
Nobody else knows this story because we didn't get to save that audio, so you should really tell people.
Oh, right.
You should really tell people about one of your dating. We're gonna call it dating debacles.
Yes, I've had many dating debacles, but this one's the biggest one. I went on a date with this guy, and when I was young, I was probably 16 or 17. I think I was about 17 years old, and he took me to his house, and we shot
a little
some
baby
guns.
bong water.
Yeah, we shot some guns, and he was like, "Oh, you want to come inside?" Because I was homeless at the time.
We shot some guns. I can't. Every time I hear that, I'm just like, are we fucking what?
It's Texas. He's like, you want to shoot some guns? It's like, well, yeah.
This was in Texas? For some reason, this entire fucking time, I thought this was out of the country.
No, Texas. This is back when I was a kid.
This is way better than I originally. Okay, continue. Now I'm on a whole different level of love for this story.
So
no. This was the motherland.
The reason I was there was because he was going to let me crash there because I was homeless at the time. And he's like, well, let me take you on this date and everything, and you can crash at mine.
Dude, when I was homeless, so many dudes came out of the woodwork trying to offer me a place to stay. It's like, I'd have to be on that dick, though, and I don't even think I like your face.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them didn't, but some of them did. You get those, but I got some really cute ones, so I was just like, yeah, man. But yeah.
You're like, you know what? No matter where this night leads, death or rapey, we're going there.
So I get to, he's like, oh, you want to come inside and put your stuff down and stuff.
Hey,
but I was like,
here's the line. Isolate that. Do you want to come inside?
Well, so we shot guns.
You should have been asking him.
So we shot the guns, and we go in his house, and I walk in his house, and there's just Nazi stuff everywhere. Like, everywhere. Like, hanging on the walls, and he's got all these little, like, printed off pamphlets. Oh, gosh, it was... Pamphlets. He lived in, like, Tyler.
Like a fucking medical facility? Like here's your STD check?
Yeah,
brochure? Yeah,
but for being a Nazi.
Oh my...
He had, like, loads of them, and I was like...
How to shave your head. How to...
What do the red laces mean
How to build a pipe
anyway?
bomb in 5 steps.
But you gotta keep in mind.
How to build a pipe bomb.
You gotta keep...
How to build a pipe bomb in 5 easy steps. I feel like that was probably one of the pamphlets.
With nothing more than
Sounds
household
like a
materials.
With nothing.
So he had Nazi stuff everywhere, and I'm stuck at this dude's house. So I was like, okay. I just let him talk.
At the fancy table of death.
Yeah, I just let him talk, and he was like trying to recruit me into like being a Nazi and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think, and I don't think that that's really for me because I'm not an asshole, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And
you're like, I don't know if it'll work
yeah,
out.
I don't think things are gonna happen between us, but yeah, I ended up sleeping with him because yeah, this was, if you remember the conversation we had about revenge sex. So you have to remember, this was the 90s. Nazis, not a big thing. They were a joke. I had not come across a lot of them at that point in my life.
You were like, we really hadn't ran in the same circles at the time.
I was like, right. So I slept with him, and then after I slept with him, I was like, oh, I thought you were like a Nazi. And he was like, yeah. And I was just like, well, you know, I'm half Native American, so really you're just a fucking race traitor, aren't you? I guess you'll have to, you know, evaluate your views again. And he started...
You're gonna have to really reframe all of your thoughts now.
And so that was my revenge sex story. I fucked a Nazi just to tell him that he fucked outside of his own race. And then what was great was the mental gymnastics afterwards, because he kept going on about this land bridge. He was like, oh no, because Native Americans came over from this land bridge and shit. So technically, it's like, they're still not fucking white though. I mean, you can't be a white supremacist and be like, yeah.
What is that?
I know, it was like, they came over from this land bridge that crossed over to Alaska and stuff, and he was trying to justify it to himself, and I was just
okay,
like...
I gotta be honest with you, I'm really well educated, and that sounds like bullshit to me. Now, I challenge any of our listeners, I'm fine with this, please fucking correct me. I once asked a question on social media that ended up being, like, one of the best questions I ever asked, which I'm gonna get to in a second, on why I'm saying all of that. But if you guys know about this land bridge, please write into the show. I don't know how to fucking tell you to do that yet because we don't even have a Facebook page, but please do it.
We will.
I'll leave some dead air and edit it in.
Yes. But he
yeah, no, I've revenged fucked, so I understand the appeal. But anyway, so yeah, so he's got pamphlets, like he's trying to recruit you.
Yeah, and I was just like, nah. So he dropped me off.
What do they even call themselves?
Yeah, so I had him drop me off at my mom's house, because again, I was a kid, and after that, because he was trying so hard to do mental gymnastics the whole time.
Mental gymnastics, favorite.
And like when I left. Okay, now keep in mind, I was homeless, I went and stayed with my mom for a bit, and then I left, and I traveled around, and I would still come back and visit, obviously.
So, but if you could go to your mom's house, you didn't have to be homeless, so like, why didn't you just...
Well, at the time, we just didn't... I could stay at my mom's house on occasion for a while, but we just didn't get along.
Oh, like a little while, okay.
We just didn't get along.
Okay. She was kind of a bitch.
Yeah, she's much better now, but yeah, at the time, she was just like...
You're like, at the time, she was a bitch.
I was a cocky shit, too, because she was like, if you're gonna live in my house, you're gonna go by my rules, and I was like, fine, I won't live in your house then. Off I fuck, you know?
That sounds like bong water to me.
And you're like, fine then.
Wouldn't expect anything else.
So I went and visited her, and he called my mother's house for about 3 or 4 years after this happened, still trying to like find me and hook up with me and stuff. Years.
That's so weird. That's a long hold on period.
It was so bizarre. Imagine how stalky he would have gotten if I'd actually been in, like, if I'd been a female Nazi, and then he would have met me, and then he would have just been like, you know, okay, I'm gonna stalk her for the rest of her life. But I'm hoping that he stopped stalking me because he met a really strong, beautiful, sexy, intelligent woman of color that just scared the shit out of him. That's what I'm hoping happens. But you know, it does raise the question. Like, there's revenge sex and there's survival sex, and I can't decide which one that qualifies under, because it was like, right, if I sleep with this guy, I'll get out of here alive.
Survival sex. You know what? That's true. Actually, one of my friends. Oh man, she's a real dumbass. I hope she's not listening.
Is it me?
No. But, okay, obviously, if I tell a story about you, I'm just gonna be like, so this person I know. Well, I can't even say it that way, because then it's probably gonna not be applicable when I do say that. I'll be like, so this person I know. You'll be like, oh, so this is about me then, isn't it, you bitch? All right. So, all that aside, we'll figure out a way to address that in the future. But this idiot I knew who, oh god, she's like a life leader. Like, that's her job title.
Wait,
Life
really?
leader. And
what the fuck does that mean?
And
is it like a guidance?
well, I don't want to give away too many details, because
right.
no, I feel like she no. Like, here's the thing, I'm a little bitter when it comes to her, because we had a really close relationship. Man, if I could have revenge fucked against this woman, I would have. But I couldn't, because we never, like, were together. Females, when it comes to life ruining, have, like, black belt editions, you know? They're always at the ready. Like, I have never seen, specifically lesbians, you want to talk about making you cry for generations. Lesbians can definitely make you miserable. But women in general, like, if you fuck them over and they're getting pissed, I've heard some excellent stories like that. Have you ever heard a story about, like, a scorned woman who then came around and really made everybody involved except herself miserable? You ever heard of it?
Well, my ex-boyfriend, who was an abusive piece of shit, so I don't feel bad for him at all, but his ex-girlfriend, burnt down their apartment complex after they broke up.
Holy fuck! Wow.
I don't know the full thing, but she set fire to the apartment complex.
I really think that is the full thing, Bongwater. I think that might be the whole story right there.
She set fire to the apartment complex, went across the street, drank vodka, and laughed until she was arrested.
Holy.
But I think women have that ability because we have to.
I'm okay now.
Are you dying? Did you die?
Oh my god. Go on.
I hate it when I get swallowing wrong. Yeah, I think women have to be that way. We have to be vicious because, honestly, most of us are absolutely shit on for a lot of our lives. A lot of us have our agency, like our sense of agency, taken away from us at a very young age. You know, no, you don't like that. You need to like this. You need to dress like this. You need to look like this. You need to do this. And, you know, by the time you reach adulthood, you're just like, you know what? Fuck you and every fucking body else that has anything to do with you.
Lily Bongwater, everybody. Lily Bongwater. Fuck everybody. Fuck everyone. Fuck you and you and you and fuck
just
you guys.
Fuck up. Fuck it. I'm just gonna burn down the apartment complex. I think with her, it was more a meth thing than a woman thing.
Jesus. Maybe she's in love. Maybe it's methamphetamine.
Meth. It provides us so much entertainment.
Damaged Goods, the show. We tried, well, I say we. You were asleep at the time.
It was
because it was a different. Yeah, you were asleep. But we tried to intro our show, Daddy Issues. And it took a huge shit because he insists on using Skype. And today, I'm going to prove to him that it's not good to use Skype. It's better to do it my way. And and I'm gonna prove it to him because the quality is gonna be so much better and not fucked. And then I'm gonna send him the really fucked piece, so this way he knows what we would have been dealing with.
Yes.
Be like, see? I'm right at stuff. I drink coffee and I know things.
Yes. Oh man, I should have made myself a vodka earlier since I'm out of weed.
Oh, there's still time if you would like. I will not hold up progress.
It's all right. My youngest will be home from school soon. Yes, that's right. I have children and I do things.
You're like, I'm a parent.
I'm responsible for shaping the hearts and minds of the future generations so that they too can burn down apartment complexes.
You're like, anybody scared yet? You're like, one day that could be my daughter. Could be. Might.
Our show is about, well, how I describe it to my friends is a cheerful rant.
A cheerful rant of damaged women, really. I mean,
of damaged women.
Layers and layers of daddy issues. So many daddy issues.
Yes.
I mean,
although if we ever have to change the name of the podcast for any reason after recording with you today, I think we should call it It Gets Worse.
It gets worse. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna definitely I'm gonna isolate that for later.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so our show is about what the fuck? What is it about? I still don't feel like we have a straight answer on that. If we had to write a description, what the fuck would we say?
Two damaged women converse about life, men, dating, women.
Hexes and the meaning of life.
And smoke lots of weed.
I like, yeah. I like that. Okay. And then... oh.
We do have segments.
Yep, like Apocalypse Watch.
I'm so excited about doing Apocalypse Watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be researching the shit out of stuff for Apocalypse Watch.
I have
used,
something for Apocalypse Watch, actually. I'm very excited.
Oh, yes.
Actually, two things.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
For if this makes it into the sort of teaser thing, Apocalypse Watch is signs that the world as we know it is coming to an end.
This is the end.
The time is slipping inexorably away.
Right. Give them an example so they know. Let's get their dicks hard a little bit, just a little.
Yeah.
Catch up.
Well, the first segment I had planned for Apocalypse Watch is it time for a new Contagion?
Yeah.
We've got.
Oh my god, that's what I was gonna do. Jesus Christ.
Great minds.
Oh my god.
We are psychically linked at this point.
I really think that you're like my alter ego. That is so creepy. That was seriously, I was like, rogue strains of illnesses we don't have a cure for. Thanks, guys.
Monkey herpes.
Like,
here, this will something to get the listener a bit. Monkey herpes. Yeah, you feeling it?
Slutty STD monkeys. I wrote that down because of last. Yep, that's very important. Slutty STD monkeys. That was the note. That's how it's going down in the books. I like it. Also, sinkholes.
Oh yeah.
Sinkholes are a thing.
Freaky.
Big ones, crater-sized.
They're so fucking weird. Like, how do they happen?
But yeah. Wow. So I like that we both like the same topic. We'll definitely have to touch on that one.
We also have Fuck That Guy, which is your genius idea.
Fuck That Guy.
Do you want to tell everyone about Fuck That Guy?
So Fuck That Guy is reserved for either the gentleman you know or the gentleman you don't know. It's not really a gentleman at all. It doesn't even have to be female, honestly. Like, okay. First of all, I feel like we can't really talk about this topic or even like lead into it without discussing the fact that you had an excellent one, the homeless donation.
Oh yeah. Would you like me to tell you about the homeless donation place?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because that really encapsulates what this segment's about. And why we're like, fuck
Exactly.
that guy.
Well, we both get to nominate someone every week if we do weekly recording, or every 2 weeks if we do two. And I'm nominating. Right, in my hometown, there is a little building. It's like a little closet built of wood, and it is filled with winter coat, hats, and scarves, and gloves, and things like that for the homeless to take. If they need it, they go get a coat, and people donate it.
Beautiful idea.
Right? How
Beautiful
nice
idea.
is that?
Love it.
And some fuckhead burnt it down. Like, set fire to it. Why am I surrounded by arsonists? What the fuck is going on in your life that you see something...
You guys don't have guns though, do you, right?
No, we don't have guns. And honestly...
So that's why you have arsonists. They're like, we have to go back to the days of the napalm.
Well, yeah, but the other...
They don't have napalm either, so they're like, what do they call it? Molotov cocktail?
Over here, you remember, like, you know how in the 70s when shit like this happened, and the cops were all like, oh, it's probably just some kids. And then, like, you turned out to have, like, 68 serial killers stalking the land. Yeah. Over here, when stuff like this happens, it actually is just the kids. It actually is, like...
So fucked
little
up.
fucktards.
Your kids are deranged and bored.
Yeah, exactly. And, so... But I think it was probably a Nazi. Just because I fucking hate Nazis. So anything bad that happens, I blame on them.
Anything bad, climate change, whatever.
Their fault.
It's the Nazis.
Clearly their fault. But yeah, so fuck that guy, because how shitty does your life have to be to fucking burn down a homeless and fucking coat donation place?
Yeah, and I really wanna beat the hell out of James Franco because he's super rapey. Oh, and you know what? There are other people that I feel like are rapey, but just haven't been convicted or accused yet.
Make a call. Let's do a psychic prediction for rapey celebrities.
All right. Okay, so Richard Gere is going on the list.
Yeah, good one.
I've got a few. All right, so Richard Gere. I'm writing this down. Then we've got I would have said James Franco.
Too late.
He's already out. And then, I think, who's that guy that plays, have you ever seen Jurassic, I'm sure you've seen Jurassic Park. Okay, Sam Neill, the guy that plays.
Yeah, Sam Neill.
I feel like he's rapey.
Oh man, I hope not.
Yeah, so I'm putting him on.
I really hope not.
Yeah, I know.
I hope you're wrong about it, because man, In the Mouth of Madness is one of my favorite movies.
No, I really like him. That's why this is juicy for me. It's really fucked up, right? And then I feel like excuse me. I feel like Beckham.
Who?
I feel like he could.
Beckham. Right.
I feel like he could be. No, you know what? I'm gonna delete that because I feel like he likes his wife.
Yeah, he seems kind of like a lovesick puppy around his wife, doesn't he? Yeah, he does.
He does. All right, who are you nominating?
William Shatner. I think, like...
I almost spit water on my computer.
Even though he's made so many strides, like, with Star Trek in racial equality and things like that, I just feel like...
You're like, I think it's a cover-up.
This is gonna go down. Yeah, something's gonna happen here with William Shatner.
Okay, so the Shatner, got it. Doing some Shat.
What about Dennis Hopper?
Alright, and then...
You think he's rapey?
Let me place this fit. Oh. Whoop. Wait, he hasn't been in anything recently,
Dennis Hopper? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I never catch, like...
Okay, I'm putting him on the list.
Who's the dude that plays Captain America?
I don't know. But he also was... Okay, guy. I'm just gonna put guy who plays Captain.
Chris Evans.
I'll look it up.
Is it Chris Evans?
Chris Evans. No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
know.
Who else was raped? Oh! The guy... Have you ever seen the movie Dead Calm?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, Sam Neill's in it, by the way. So is Nicole Kidman. I am nominating the other guy, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Because...
Ah, that's a good one.
I'm telling you, that guy, he is super rapey.
That is a good one. That is a good nomination. I could totally see that.
I like him a lot. Yeah. You should have seen how there were like a couple scenes in Jurassic Park and there are a few scenes in Dead Calm where Sam Neill acts pretty fucking stuffy rapey. So that's why I put him on the list.
What about, okay, I'm gonna take you way back. You remember Gremlins 2? A New Batch.
Yep, just saw it
Right,
recently.
okay.
Yep.
Clamp, the guy that plays Daniel Clamp, or whatever his name is, the guy that plays the main CEO of the building that they're in.
Oh my god. Yeah, and he's been in other
He
stuff, though.
He has been in other stuff, but...
Guy from Corporate Office.
I cannot
and
remember.
Gremlins too. We'll have to look up his name.
So,
Okay. I want to go with one that I feel like... I don't know if he's ever been nominated before for this, but Tim Allen.
oh yeah.
I feel like he knows he had money, and at one point in his heyday, he was probably trying to sling that dick around to people who didn't want
Dude,
it.
Tim Allen, absolutely. I would, like, if something came out tomorrow about him, I'd be like, yeah, I'm color me shocked, you know, like...
You're
not
like, I'm
even
not
a
even
little
surprised.
bit. Yeah.
Who would be... Okay, we need to nominate a male or female that we would be surprised.
If something came out about Keanu Reeves, I would probably, like, legitimately...
You really are a Keanu
I am.
fan.
I would legitimately go into shock. Because, like, everything about him is so... Everything you hear about him is super nice. He's like the Dave Grohl of the acting community. He's like...
Yeah, but he grew up super damaged.
Yeah, but that's why he could never be rapey, because he knows, like, what that, you know...
What rape is like.
Yeah, yeah, because he got fucked hard by life, you know?
Oh man, that's so fucked up. Alright.
I would be super shocked. Super shocked. I'd be heartbroken.
You know who I feel like probably did some dirty shit in her day, and I don't know if it was necessarily rape, but she definitely seems like she did some dirty shit in her day. Two people,
Ooh, are you gonna say Oprah?
No, Glenn Close and Meryl Streep. But I don't know that that'll ever come out. I feel like they probably had their victims killed, like the praying mantis.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, right?
That old school predatory woman.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like Gloria Allred too, but she covers her ass by being a lawyer, so that'll never come out either.
Yeah, she's definitely, she might not have done something rapey, but she's definitely done something horrifically evil.
I'm putting down
her
Martha
life.
Stewart, speaking of horrifically evil.
I'm sorry, but isn't her friendship with Snoop Dogg just adorable, though?
I think they are the cutest couple. I really think that Black D probably makes her year. Because he feels like, I feel like he's probably willing to fuck her. I really do think that. He's probably into her. A little bit. He's like, give me them cookies, Martha. Like, let me help you bake that dough. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're probably doing it.
See, I never got that feeling, but that's just because I always thought he hangs out with her because she makes him the most dank edibles ever.
I'll bet she does. I'll bet she fucking does. I'll bet she does. She probably does a lot of fucking drugs.
I've made you some weed candies and some weed chocolates and some weed brownies and a weed pizza and a weed...
She's like, this is a 9-layer weed cake. He's like, oh damn.
Oh my god.
Shit, Ma, I thought you shouldn't have. But I'm just taking this with me really quick. I'll see you later. Coma.
Oh.
Alright, who else are we...
Yeah,
So,
man.
what about Snoop Dogg? Do you think... I'm sure... He's just got baby mamas that are gonna come out. Like, not actual rape stories, though.
No, he's not gonna. Because he's not like in the environment he was in. He didn't have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
he didn't
no,
have
he had
to.
the pussy. But see, that's the thing about rape. What's his name didn't have to either. Ed Westwick, the guy that
Yeah, that's.
he didn't have to
Rape's
either. But it
always-
was all about like really just giving her a good beating. You know, beat her ass and then.
Yeah, it's about power. Rape
Yeah.
is never about sex. It's about power. And
Right.
Snoop Dogg doesn't give a shit about power.
Because he
He
already
doesn't
had
fucking
it.
care. He
He
just-
had the pimp cup already. He didn't need power. He
Yeah,
was power.
yeah. He's just trying to like smoke, make some music, fucking chill. You know.
I mean, it sounds like an epic life. I'm not gonna lie. Sounds pretty good.
Oh god, yeah. I would absolutely smoke many a bong hits with Snoop Dogg.
Dude, I'll bet he's awesome to smoke with. Snoop, if you ever want to drop by, come through. Let us know.
Right?
We will figure out a way to be all in the same place for that event. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna do
Yeah.
it, but we will all get in the same room for that conversation. And we will record it for as long as all of us still know how to record.
Hell yeah. You know, he does a YouTube, like a little, he's got these YouTube videos he makes where he has people on and just smokes a shit ton of weed with him.
Oh my god.
He's had Seth Rogen on it. He's had loads of people on
Oh,
it.
see, we're not
Fucking
Seth
funny.
Rogens, but, you know, I'll bet we're entertaining. I'll bet he would find us entertaining.
Yeah, he'd probably just be like, what the fuck is wrong with these two?
They were like, wow, I didn't know you were... I mean, I saw them, and I was okay with it until they started talking, and now I'm uncomfortable. Let's see. Also, speaking of fuck that guy, Jeff Sessions, who wants to take us back to the Stone Age, where they actually had
Ugh,
weed,
fuck that
by
guy.
the way. I just want to talk and point that out really quick. Back then, they had weed. In fact, in the Bible, they even reference weed as, like, the healing oil or whatever. I was reading about this yesterday. It was fascinating.
Nice.
And it's like, yeah, they called it Canna Rosa oil. I was like, yeah, it is.
I think I rubbed some of that on my shoulder earlier.
You're like, and just an hour later, I feel like I don't even have a shoulder. Like,
Man, that stuff is it really is amazing. It really is.
it's very potent from what I understand. Yeah, I've never used a topical, but I hear it's really potent shit.
Dude, I ordered it off of Amazon for like $10. It was
What?
yeah, and it's fantastic. Like my friend fractured her hand, and we slathered it, and the swelling went down, and it stayed down for like, indefinitely. It never came back.
Holy
It still
shit.
hurt.
You'll have to send me a link to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it still hurt, and it was still stiff, but it wasn't nearly as painful, and the swelling went down. Like the next morning, she woke up and the swelling was all down on it. Fantastic stuff. We should get in touch with
Nice.
whoever makes this and be like, hey, you want to sponsor a podcast?
Yeah, for real. For real.
But yeah, I'll send you a link to
We'll
it.
throw a commercial into the episode if you're willing to throw us either free shit or money.
Yeah, man.
It's not beneath us.
No.
Beneath us.
We're too damaged.
The only
to
thing
have
that needs to.
standards.
Yeah, there aren't standards here. No, there aren't.
Oh,
There are standards of sound quality, which is why we went into a mourning period, or I did. I went into a mourning period over the weekend because our last recording got fucking destroyed from my side, and I felt so guilty and sad and shitty about it.
oh,
And
it
now
wasn't
I
your
feel
fault,
like we're
man.
really turning a corner.
Yeah.
What'd you
I
say?
said it wasn't your fault, man.
Oh no, it was. I don't know why. I don't know how it. I don't. The weird thing is like I still to this moment don't know what started it, and I don't know why. But a lot of people have had this problem, and it's not a hardware problem, but it's not a software problem. It's kind of a combination of both of those.
Yeah.
But they like point at each other the problems. I was like, sounds really complicated.
Oh.
Anyway, I think we've fixed it now.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Also, I was thinking about this other segment, like, I don't know if we should call it Florida Forecast and include, like, all the weird shit Floridians do, because I swear to God, between, what was it, STD monkeys came from Florida? Wasn't that story from Florida?
I'd have to look
And then
at
we've
it.
got this other guy who was, like, a flat earther who was sending himself up in a rocket
God.
ship because he believed that the
And he
Earth was
didn't do
flat.
it. I was so annoyed. I was sitting there waiting, counting down the days. Come
How
on.
the fuck would he have done
He
it?
didn't. He
What do you have, a carburetor and like a fucking joystick to send him up into space? Of course it didn't work.
I wanted him to blow
He
up.
was like, he's like, I've added some oil and some gas, and I've added this little seat here, and I'm ready.
Dude, I would
He
pay.
puts on a fucking motorcycle helmet with a Budweiser logo on it. Like, I'm ready.
I would pay good money to watch flat earthers and hollow earthers fight. I would pay good money to see that.
That might be my favorite thing that you've ever said. Jesus. We should really have a flat earther and a hollow earther and then somebody who doesn't even believe that we're on Earth.
Yes.
Like all three of them on our show and be like, okay, we should have planned questions.
And you know
Okay.
what? We should also have one of those people that doesn't believe that Finland is.
What's everybody think about the Earth's core? There isn't one. It doesn't matter.
What?
There is no Earth.
No,
Like,
what do we?
can you imagine the comments?
But we gotta have somebody on that is one of those people that doesn't believe that Finland is a country, because they will be the voice of reason. Like this.
That is horrific, but awesome.
Like.
I mean, I really don't have much room to talk. I still don't fucking believe that Delaware is a real place, and I'm not entirely ever sure where certain places are on a globe. And like I said earlier, like I went to fucking college, like I know my shit. But at the same time, it's something that it's like I have a map for that. It's in my phone. It's on my computer. Man, I really sound like a millennial right now, but I'm not. And it's like, I mean, I guess I am, but it's. You know, it's all out there. I don't have to fucking memorize where the fucking country of Jordan is, because it's just like on my phone now. Fuck knowing a globe. Nobody even has globes anymore.
I kind of
Fucking
really want one
pretentious
now.
Rich people.
I kind of need to have a globe now. Yeah.
A globe? I want. This is the kind of globe I want. Is the one that you can open. And it's like a
Everybody
fucking
wants
bar
that
inside of
globe.
it,
That
and
globe
you,
is
like,
fantastic. But you can't. But you can't
Yeah,
get
there was
one unless you have a study, because that's where they go, in a study. And you
with rich, right?
Yes.
Rich mahogany. Rich mahogany walls. That's the only way you
leather-bound
can go.
books. You know?
I mean, yes. My husband is an old person at heart. He's like an old guy that should have been living in a different era entirely. He likes like old shit, like the old types of lighters from the 20s, and he likes like old alcohol, and he likes
Have you ever
old decanters. It's just like old
Have you ever considered the fact that husband might be a time traveler?
You know what? I think that he's probably reincarnated, because I feel like he's probably lived some of the shit he knows. He just has no business knowing. There's no way he had time to like look that shit up, because his
It's fun to
phone
have
doesn't even
internet
have internet
access.
access.
What the
So no, it's a long story, but basically no. Like, I have it, but he does not have it, because he basically would completely neglect everything he had to do in his day and just bury himself in his
Right.
phone, and I got sick of that shit. So when we changed plans, it just happened to be a lot cheaper to get him a phone that worked rather than a phone that had internet
Nice.
access, and that was my way out. Yeah. Smooth moves. Really fucked up, right? But at the same time, it's like, he was always going over our gigs, too, so that wasn't gonna work. I can't afford to, like, have 20 extra gigs because you have you're not focusing on work
Jesus.
or whatever the hell you're doing.
You guys get really fucked when it comes to phone service over there.
Yeah, we really do. We really, really do. In fact, my parents right now are fucked with their I guess internet/cable provider. It's not cable, it's, yeah, I guess it is cable. I don't know. Anyway, it's insanely expensive, and the service is just shit. And I would call the company out on air right now, except for the fact that my parents are still under contract with them, and I don't want to fuck my parents somehow. when we are out of contract, I will
I
lay
can't
it,
wait.
and I will lay
I
it
can't
down
wait for that.
thick, you assholes. Yep. Buckle your seatbelts, you
You want to
assholes.
talk about assholes?
Fucking
I'm going to tell you
assholes.
this. Did I tell you that I'm going to just fucking burn down the government? Like, the whole government. I'm just going to burn it down, like, as soon as humanly possible.
I can't possibly see what's wrong with putting that out on the air. Go on.
So, right, over here, you get, when you have children, you get child tax credits, right? And it's money that the government gives you every month. If you make a certain amount of money, you get, like, let's say, like when I was working and Ben was working, we got, like, not really any. When I wasn't working and Ben was working, we got 108 pounds a week for both of our kids.
Okay.
So,
I don't know if that's a lot or a little. I don't know what how many, like, the conversion.
oh god, I'm not sure anymore. About
Okay.
$120 or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, gotcha.
But so I got a job. We stopped getting the tax. Well, at first they went down to like $20 a week to give us, and we're like, well, you know, whatever. I'm working now, no big deal. Then it went to nothing. So we've gotten no child tax credits for about 8 months now, right? Which was fine because I was working, and obviously I'm not now because I had a nervous breakdown. And so we're in the process of like getting it all set back up. So we get a letter yesterday, right, from these fucktards that says, oh, we've overpaid your tax credit, so you owe like 800 and something pounds. And I was like, go fuck yourself. We don't even get tax credits. We don't even get tax credits right now. Kiss my fucking ass. I swear to God.
Was somebody else collecting?
No, it's by direct debit. It goes straight to your bank account. So I'm gonna burn down the government. But Ben instead said he's gonna call and yell at them instead of me burning down the government. But
I mean, Ben is a pretty reasonable bloke, so I'm not really surprised that he's voicing.
Yeah, I was pissed. I opened that letter, and we both got one. He got one, and I got one, and we were just like, huh, okay. Yeah, let's see how well that goes for you. You know? You're getting not a cent. Not a fucking cent from us. Fuck off.
That happened. No, that happened to my mom too. She was getting Social Security, and they had to pay it all back, like something like $10,000.
Yeah, they can't do that. They can't like we rent our house. You know, we don't have you know, 800 and something quids worth of possessions for them to come and take. You know, and you know, it's just not gonna happen. So fuck them.
You're like, really, guys? I mean this in the nicest of ways. Suck it.
Right.
Suck it long. Suck it hard.
You know, poverty does have its moments where it really sucks, but on the upside, you can be so much more bitchy about shit like that because it's like I've got nothing for you to take from me. I've got fuck all to lose.
Yes, I do. Yep. I've been there, so I know exactly what you're saying, and I felt the same way. I was like, I would have bill collectors calling, and the reality was, I was like, you can fucking call all you want. I was like, blow up my phone all you like. I was like, I won't be answering. I was like, I will just be still poor, and if I come across money, and I make it, and it's mine, I will be happy to turn it over. And then they'll be like, then they start the threats. It's like, I was like, stop it. You might as well not try and threaten me, because I really don't give a fuck. I have nothing to give you, and you can't get fucking blood from a stone.
Yeah.
So move on.
Move on with your life. It's not gonna happen.
In fact, I had one bill collector that was so bad. I just started my company back up, and he was reading from my company website. Like, this guy went fucking deep. Like, he would call me from a call spoofer with different numbers. Yep. And then he read things from my personal Facebook page, which is one of the reasons I now have a super private page.
Yeah.
He was one of the reasons I had to do that, and why. It went on for a few months, and then he started. We don't know how he got it, but he got a hold of my husband's phone number, even though we don't have linked accounts. You know, like there are his accounts and there are my accounts. And then, yeah, but the bill collector started calling this guy. And then my husband got really pissed off and he was like, tell me where I can meet you in person. Because we need to have a little chat.
I think we need to come to an understanding.
Yeah, things got really hairy.
They're
Really.
different over there than they are here. They're fucking straight vicious in America, man. Like I tell
they
people over here they're really shocked. Like, I was like, yeah, they'll cut your water off. And they're like, what? They can't do that. Water's a human right. And I'm like, yeah, no, they will. They'll cut your water off. They'll cut your power off.
No, they do. They really do.
They really don't give a shit. They will take everything you own. Like over here, right? Let's say they send a guy to come and confiscate our stuff or whatever it's called. And if they can knock on your door and you can just not answer it and they can't do anything about it. They'll just like, well, I better send them another strongly worded letter.
Well, it was a rough day, Bill. Didn't work out. The seizure didn't work out. They didn't answer the door.
Yeah, totally.
I wonder if their doorbell needs to be repaired, Bill. Dude, you have the easiest... I mean, I'm not gonna say you have the easiest, but like, it sounds a lot more chill out in the UK than it is here.
It's
Here, they're like, we're gonna fucking set your place ablaze if we have to smoke you out.
That's the thing. I remember, I'll never forget this as long as I live. I was in the pharmacy, right? Because I was sick, and I was getting some antibiotics, and there was a guy in line, right, in front of me. And they raised the price of prescription medications from £6 to £7. And this guy was going off about it. He was like, I can't believe that we are expected to pay £7 for medicine that we need when we're sick, blah, 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 like going off about it. And I was just like, Jesus, you guys have no fucking idea how good you have it over here. So spoiled. So fucking spoiled. Like, they just can't comprehend, you know.
Yeah, they have no idea how bad it can get.
I was like, when I was a kid, right, the generic amoxicillin, not the name brand shit, the generic amoxicillin was $30 a bottle, you know? And now, I have no fucking idea what it is now, but I'm sure given how everything raises in price, it's more these days.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy...
Yeah. I don't even take, I
don't.
can't even deal with taking medicine anymore. It just makes me sick.
Yeah, well, when I lived in Virginia...
And it's prohibitively expensive.
When I lived in Virginia, I got all of my medicine that I needed at the time, like if I got an infection or something and needed antibiotics or whatever, drug dealers. Drug dealers,
Nice.
They would have, you go pick up weed, you could pick up some antibiotics, you could pick up some anti-inflammatories, you know.
You're like, it's really a one-stop shop.
It's fantastic. And a lot of people, you know, in the States do that, or we just are sick and deal with it, or we do stupid shit like cut our leg open and just duct tape it closed and fucking carry on about our day.
Depends on the budget you have. Yeah, well, being that, I'll tell you this. So I had a incident where I was working as a bartender and I got impaled at work with a glass. I like cut my chest open. Yeah, and it missed my heart by like a centimeter or so.
Damn.
And long story short, I told them I couldn't go to the hospital because I didn't have insurance. They were like, it's okay, we'll have workman's comp. They did not really have workman's comp. Then they tried to get me to file insurance fraud and I refused. And 4 years later, it was still on my credit report, and I thought that the statute of limitations had run out before I could afford to hire a lawyer, and I couldn't sue him privately. It's basically like the owner of the company was a huge fraud, but his lawyer was in his family and an investor in his company. So he had an invested interest in fucking me and making me look bad. And at first he said that I didn't work there. And then he said to the insurance company that I only worked there for a little while and it happened after work hours. It's like, no, I was serving fucking drinks on the clock during an event. And I tripped on a rug that was like overlapping behind the bar, which I had already complained about, by the way, like 2 days earlier, and they hadn't done anything about it. And my boot caught on it, and I was holding a tray full of drinks and tripped. Tray full of drinks, which were all glass, broke, went on my chest, and went in. I pulled it out. I actually had to remove my own fucking stitches a week later, or 2 weeks later, because I couldn't afford to go back to the hospital. When I found out a week later, they actually billed me $7,000 fucking dollars for 3 stitches in an hour and a half.
Fucking hell. Jesus.
Yep.
The amount of, like...
Yeah, and I fought that bill for a long ass time.
Yeah.
But now it's off my credit report, so
Oh,
fuck
that's
off.
good. That's good. I can't tell you how many, like, trailer parks I've been in where people have been doing surgery in kitchens on people, like doing stitches and stuff yourself because you just can't afford to go.
Jesus.
You know, you just can't afford it. Like when
Yeah.
I was homeless, we would just go to the emergency room. We're like, well, they can't turn us away at the emergency room. But they're so mean to you because you're homeless and they know that they're not getting any money out of you, that they're really rough with you. So you don't go unless it's like really, really, you know.
Have to. Yeah, and unless you really have to.
Yeah. But yeah, I all of these things.
It's like either this or Tommy dies.
Yeah. Like all of these things just flashed through my head when I was listening to that guy freaking out about having to pay £7 for prescription medicine. You know, we don't have any prescription medicine in the States that's $7, do we?
Right. No.
No.
Well, I guess we do have some generics of things, but generally no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's just
like Tylenol costs more than that. I knew that.
It's insane. You know, they're a very spoiled people.
Thank you for joining us on Daddy Issues. We will be back with more issues next
There you
time.
go. There you go.